Good morning to all of you. I am Dr. G.K. Avari, and today we will be discussing about the basically the content analysis. All of you know that due to this COVID-19, the almost all teachers in the country at home and they are working from home. At the same time, the next session may begin, okay, in from September 2020. So by that time, whatever the subject that we are teaching, that we have to go into the details of that subject, or the probably the subjects that we are going to teach. That for that subject also we should do the content analysis. So content analysis is one of the tool which should be adopted by the teacher for the a particular subject, so that the teacher can go into the depth of the subject and complete thing it can be given to the student. So I welcome all of you to this session on the content analysis. Let me share my screen. So we will start with the quote of the this Dr. Sarvapalli Radhakrishnan, that teachers should be the best minds in the country. All of you know that the teachers are most respected person in the country as well as throughout the world, and teachers should be the best minds in the country. So teacher has to think a lot. Teacher has to see that the whatever is being expected by the students, it should be given to the students. Nowadays, there is a knowledge exploration is going on. Okay, there are so many sources, internet, video tutorials, and many more websites also. Open source material is also available, wherein the students can take the knowledge. So at the time, the teacher's role is not ignored. Teachers are very important and the critical element of our education system. So therefore, the teacher should focus on the content analysis. So today we will see what is the content analysis. Okay, right from the meaning definition to the final explanation. So content analysis is a technique of objectively and systematically identifying facts, concepts, principles, procedures, and skills for topics of different subjects. Okay, that is nothing but the content analysis. So in nutshell, we can say that content means a subject matter of any subject, and analysis means breaking down the complex units into the smaller subunits or the subtopics. So it is very essential component in the pedagogical analysis, because in doing so, a teacher should have a good knowledge of the maxims of the teaching and thorough knowledge of the content. So basically, what we do is that it should be divided into the subtopic or the smaller components of the subject. So components of the content analysis, there are six components of the content analysis: facts, then concepts, principles, procedures, and skills. So we will see one by one all these content of components of the content analysis, and finally we will take the one example how to apply the these content components of the content analysis. So what are the facts? Okay, facts are basically the universally accepted and commonly understood item. There cannot be much argument and discussion about them. Okay, the examples of the facts are electrical motor, ceiling fan, table, window. Okay, you can see that. Okay, this electrical motor is there. This is the fact. Okay, it has been already established. Now there is no much argument that whether it is an electrical motor or not. Similarly, the ceiling fan and the working mechanism of the ceiling fan. Okay, this is the fact. Okay, which you have to identify. Then the concept. So what is the concept? Concept is an abstraction or an idea that permits the learner to classify variety of related phenomena into a convenient and meaningful category. So concepts can be divided into the two categories. One is a concrete concept and another one is nothing but the abstract concept. So what are the concrete concepts? Concrete concepts are those concepts which can be seen, which can be touched, and also the manipulated. For example, the machines, okay, LCD projector, house amplifier, speaker. Now you can see the example of the machine. You can see the example of the this LCD projector. These are all concrete concepts because this can be seen, this can be touched, and they can be manipulated also. Similarly, abstract concepts are those concepts which cannot be seen and touched and handled, but can only be imagined. Okay, for example, the flow of electricity through the wire, naturally it has to be imagined. Similarly, magnetic field, okay, similarly, force or the magnetic force or the induction force, okay, these are all imagined. Okay, so these are all called as the abstract concepts in the content analysis. Then come to the principles. So what is the principle? Okay, a principle is a statement of relationship between the two or more concepts. Principles are sometimes called rulers, laws, or generalization. The relationship between the two or more concepts, which is scientific, universally true, okay, is called a principle. For example, okay, we can see the Kirchhoff's law. This is the principle. Kirchhoff's law is there. Okay. Similarly, actions and reactions are equal and opposite. Newton's third law. This is also a principle which is being established, which is being developed. Then we will come to the procedures. So what do you mean by the procedure? There are certain standard procedures which are prescribed to perform an operation on a given task. These procedures should be clearly identified, okay, and tasks should be given accordingly and not to be left to chance. Okay, for example, okay, procedure starting the computer. Okay, there is a certain procedure is there for starting the computer. Similarly, starting a vehicle, starting the engine, there is a certain procedure that is to be followed. Okay, it is not based on the trial error method or the chance method. Then the applications. Okay, the applications means use of facts, concepts, principle, procedure applied to solve a practical problem. That is nothing but the application. In other words, we call this application or transfer of learning to a new situation. New situation. For example, okay, application we can see that in case of the computer engineering, the database management is there. Okay, so data management, that is whatever the facts, concept, principle that you have learned, procedures you have learned, that could be applied for the data management. Similarly, this is the designing of the amplifier. You can see that naturally the good voice, okay, and a good amplification will be there at a particular frequency, at a particular system optimization. So whatever the knowledge which is being gained, it is being applied over here, okay, to have the to design the good amplifier. Okay, then we will come to the skills. Okay, so a skill is an ability to perform a task expertly and well. Okay, the skilled performance must meet a pre-specified standard of acceptable performance. So skill must be transferred to the students. So there are four types of skill. Okay, generic skills, intellectual skills, psychomotor skills, which is also called as the motor skills, and the social skills. Okay. Then we will see that, okay, what do you mean by the generic skills? Now you can see the generic skills, it can be achieved by, they can be the soft skill, creativity, personal grooming, teamwork, and the time management. All these things will be there in the generic skills. So in the content analysis, okay, you need to see that generic skills is to be given and in what way, okay, it should be given. Similarly, okay, these are the discrimination, concrete concept, then the rules and the problem solving. Okay, these are the psychometric skills. That is, it is in the cognitive domain, symbolic, okay, sensory, motor, and the emotional. And finally, the social skill, that is teamwork, listening skills, and the effective communication. So these are all four types of skills are there, which we are trying to transfer it to the students through our teaching. So let us see the uses of the content analysis. So teachers will come to know that what the students are supposed to learn. Okay, outcome will be clearly defined with the help of the content analysis. Assessment can be based on the important aspects of the content. So through content analysis only, we will come to know that, okay, how to conduct the assessment. Important laboratory experiences and demonstration can be derived from the analysis. once we do the analysis, okay, we will design our own experiment and a demonstration purpose also. Learning hierarchy becomes obvious, and the teaching can be done following the hierarchy, because you know that okay, some topics are to be taught first, okay, which are conceptual in nature. Okay, then comes the application and all. So while teaching, we will come to know that what should be the hierarchy of teaching. So content analysis clearly defines the scope of the topic. Means complete scope, it can be defined with the help of the content analysis. So example, we will take example of the content analysis. For example, today I am taking one example of the fundamentals from the of the electrical engineering, and the topic is electromagnetism. Okay, and learning outcome is apply electromagnetism to study electromagnetic induction and develop theory of generation of power and conversion of electrical energy into the mechanical energy. So this is what the example is shown over here, that this electromagnetism, okay, we have to teach in the class, and then okay, we have to do the content analysis for this one, for this particular topic. So what is the concept involved in the electromagnetism? The concept is that a current carrying conductor has always a magnetic field developed around it. A current carrying conductor placed in the magnetic field experiences force. Okay. If the conductor is free to move, then it moves in a direction depending upon the direction of the current and direction of magnetic field. So these are all concepts, okay, which is being there in the electromagnetism. Now, what are the attributes of these concepts? Let us see. A magnetic field is developed around a current carrying conductor. A magnetic field is so developed, has direction depending upon the direction of the current passing through the conductor. A magnetic flux or the field formed around the conductor is in the form of concentric circle. The strength of the magnetic field depends on the strength of the current passing through the conductor. So these are all concept attributes are there. Okay, so current carrying conductor placed in a magnetic field experiences force. The intensity strength of force developed depends upon the strength of the magnetic field. If the conductor is free to move, then movement of the conductor occurs. The direction of motion of the conductor depends upon the direction of the flux and direction of current passing through the conductor. The rate of motion of conductor or the velocity with which the conductor will move depends on the strength of the current and the magnetic field. So these are all concept attributes. Okay, now let us see the principles involved over here. Okay, what kind of principle is there? Thumb rule or path rule to find the direction of magnetic field. All of you are aware that Fleming's left hand rule, okay, for finding the direction of motion of the conductor. Similarly, Fleming's right hand rule for finding the direction of the EMF developed. Okay, these are the principles. Now the application of this electromagnetism, use of the rules to describe the working of a motor or generator. Okay, developing the concept of electromagnetic induction. So by this way, okay, you can show or you can teach them what are the applications of electromagnetism, okay, and how the motor runs. Okay, working of motor is there or the working of generator is there. So what is the procedure? Okay, procedure is find the intensity of the magnetic field, find direction of magnetic field as per the direction of current flowing through the conductor, and find the direction of motion of the EMF developed. So we need to give them the magnetic field intensity formula, and with the help of the example, find the magnetic field intensity in the magnetic circuit shown below. So there are several circuits can be shown, several example can be shown, with which we can teach to the students the procedures to calculate the intensity of the magnetic field, okay, direction of current flowing and the direction of motion or EMF developed. So in nutshell, content analysis thus enables the teacher to be aware about what to teach as well as how to teach a particular topic. So these are all advantages of the content analysis. It looks directly at communication via text or transcript and hence gets at the central aspect of the social interaction, can allow for both quantitative as well as qualitative operations, can provide valuable historical or cultural insight, okay, over time through analysis of text, allows closeness to the text, which can alternate between specific categories and relationship, and also statistically analyzes the coded form of the text. Okay, and it provides insight into complex models of human thought and language use. When done well, content analysis is considered as a relatively exact research method for our subject topic. Then there are some disadvantages also. It can be extremely time consuming. Okay, therefore I said that this is the time that teachers should look for the content analysis for their own subject and try to divide the complete subject, okay, with the help of the content analysis, and get ready with the complete details of the each and every topic and each and every topic of the subject for the next semester. Okay, then it is inherently reductive, particularly when dealing with complex text. It tends to often to simply consist of word count. It can be difficult to automate or computerize at present, but we can think of. Okay, this is one format of the curriculum content analysis is given. For example, topic is mentioned. Okay, competencies required is being mentioned. Breadth or scope sequencing is mentioned. Prerequisite: what kind of subject should be studied by the student? Topic should be studied by the student before understanding the particular subject topic. Prerequisite: instructional time, how much time is given. Okay, instructional resources, what kind of resources are there with you, and the facilities which are available, okay, to give the that kind of content. So this is again, it is given another format, that is content type. Okay, topic, then the format, primary purpose, primary audience, quality, okay, low or medium quality, or reason, or the notes. So by this way, for a particular subject, the content analysis can be done. So finally, we conclude here. Okay, when used properly, content analysis is a powerful technique of studying the scope of the topics in a curricula, competencies matching with the content, adequacies of instruction time, resources, and facilities, and the optimized things in the shortened span of the time can be given to the student without wasting the time of the student as well as wasting the time of the teacher. The procedures of the content analysis, okay, that is content selection or analyzing, units for content, preparation for coding of content, content coding, and outcome analysis for conclusion. So I conclude here that with the quote of the Swami Vivekananda, we are what our thoughts have made us. So take care about what you think. Words are secondary, thoughts live. Okay, they travel far. So, my dear teachers, okay, this is the time that we should think, okay, about our subject and how to take care of our student, okay, in the coming academic session. So try to focus on the content analysis of each and every subject that you are going to teach. So thank you very much for the patience listening. Try to use this content analysis, apply for this your subject, and give a thought what should be outcome of this particular topic or subject. If you face any kind of queries, then my email ID is given as well as a mobile number is given, 9922966173. I am working as the head of automobile engineering department at Government Polytechnic Nagpur. Thank you very much. Wish you all the best.